Hey guys, this is Susie Eller, and I cannot tell you how excited I am to be kind of sitting across this amazing woman. Jennifer Rothschild is uh, one of my favorite speakers, one of my favorite authors, and I don't even know if she knows that. But she is a best-selling author. She's written 14 books. She's a popular media guest. She desires, and this is, maybe Jennifer, this is why you're my fave. She desires to help others live beyond the limits, and that's my heartbeat. So welcome, Jennifer.
Thank you. I'm so glad we get to hang out together, Susie.
Me too. Well, you've written, actually kind of rewritten and brought it up to date and made this powerful book called Me, Myself, and Lies. I'm going to show the cover real quick. And she wrote another version for young women, which is absolutely needed. And so we've been in this series called 21 Days to Moving Past What You Cannot Change on Your Own. And 21 days is not enough time for us to do a radical transformation, but it makes us think and it gets us on that path. And when I read this book, I knew that this had to be something that I shared with you, because you can take it beyond this 21 days and walk this truth for the rest of your life. So, Jennifer, you talk about a thought closet. And I love that because I get it. I get it. Tell me what a thought closet is.
Well, I mean, you think about it, what I'm wearing right now, what you're wearing, started off this morning in our closets, right? And so what's in our closets is what we wardrobe with. Well, same thing with our thoughts. Whatever we say to ourselves, our thoughts, our beliefs, we store them away in what I call our thought closet. It's that place in our mind where all that stuff gets collected. You know, stuff you say to yourself like, I'm not very smart, or I can do this, whatever it may be. You store it away in your thought closet, and then you wardrobe your life with it. So, you know, lots of people might feel like, oh, well, okay, I'm wardrobed in defeat right now. Well, chances are it's because you've been saying things to yourself that are not true, and you've stored those untrue self-talk in your thought closet, like you can't do anything right, you know, and then you wardrobe your life with it. So that's why I talk about a thought closet. It's just a perfect way to think about the impact what you say to yourself can have on your whole life.
Wow. You know, and that's really powerful, Jennifer, because, you know, I grew up in dysfunction and learning how to look at my thought closet. There was a lot of stuff in there that put in, even not by me. And so looking at it, looking at what I had put in there, looking at what others had put in there was honestly the beginning of healing for me. So I love this. You said that much of our self-talk is false.
Yeah.
And you asked that we replace it, or suggest that we replace it with soul talk. And so tell me what that looks like.
Well, you know, Susie, like you said, not everything we put in our thought closets is something we chose. You know, you said you grew up in dysfunction, which, by the way, didn't we all? And it is no fun. Whoever said there's fun in dysfunction really was not accurate. But the point is, we put stuff in our thought closets that maybe we wouldn't have chosen, right? So, you know, let's say you had somebody who was very influential in your life. It could have been a parent. It could be a spouse. And they say unkind or untrue things to me. You're such a loser. You can't do anything right. And then you hear it so much, you start to take it in and assume, well, okay, I guess it's true. And you put it in your thought closet. And so that kind of destructive self-talk, when we wardrobe our lives like that, it doesn't bring us to the life we want to live. And so that's why in the book, Me, Myself, and Lies, that's why I help the reader learn to do what I have learned and still have to learn to do, which is to change that destructive self-talk into constructive, truthful soul talk. In other words, you take the lies that you've been telling yourselves and you replace them with truth. So can I give you 3 R's, Susie? I think this will help us all, okay?
Yes.
All right. First R is recognize, right? You got to recognize, like you were saying, you've recognized what you've been saying to yourself. And when you begin to line up what you say with yourself with the truth of what God says to us and about us, it helps us recognize lies. So once you recognize a lie, that's the first R, then it leads you to the second R, which is to refuse.
Yeah.
You refuse that lie entry into your thought closet. 2 Corinthians tells us that we can hold every thought captive until the obedience of Christ, to make it obey Christ. It's like you're holding that thought captive at the door of your thought closet, and you refuse to let it in until it agrees with the truth, which leads me to the third R, which is replace. You simply replace that lie with the truth. So for me, I was a name caller. I used to call myself idiot all the time. If I did something that didn't meet my way too high expectations, Jennifer, you're such an idiot, okay? But once I recognized that, then I would refuse it. I would stop. I would hold that thought captive. No, it is not true. I'm not an idiot. That's a lie. I cannot let that in my thought closet. So I would replace it with the truth, like in Ephesians 2. I'm not an idiot. I'm the workmanship of Christ. And then I let that truth inside my thought closet, and ta-da, I wardrobe my life with that kind of confidence.
I love that. You know, I was with a friend yesterday, and we were driving around, and this friend started sharing some things that instantly my spirit just kind of went in a little tangle, because this person next to me is amazing, and yet it couldn't have been more violent toward her if she had had a pair of boxing gloves and was hitting herself in the face. And I just looked over and said, no, that's not true. You know, that's not even close to truth. It's not biblical truth. It's not spiritual truth. It's not physical truth. This is not true. So I love the 3 R's, because see, that we can put in front of us.
Right.
And remember, when that thought comes, when that lie tries to weave itself into who we are, we can come back and just do a 1, 2, 3 punch.
Boom.
Boom. I love that. Well, you wrote on page 41 in Me, Myself, and Lies, the root of wrong thinking is always a false assumption. And I got to tell you, Jennifer, you're looking pretty hot today. You're there, and you are beautiful, and you've got this gorgeous smile, and you're a best-selling author. And, you know, somebody might look at you and say, there is no way Jennifer Rothschild has ever or continues to ever have wrong thinking.
Oh my gosh.
Right.
Yeah, I wish you were right. I wish you were correct. Here's the thing. We've all got a messy life, and I'm grateful that I've had the opportunity to learn that we all struggle, right? And so I'll be happy to share with you some of my, thankfully we only have time for one wrong assumption that led to wrong thinking. Here's one for me, okay? And I think a lot of us girls can relate to it. I have to be perfect. I have to do everything perfect. And if it's not perfect, then it's awful. And so I have to trace why do I live by that assumption? You know, yes, I'm a firstborn. My parents are both firstborns. So even though they loved me deeply, I'm sure we were just like this firstborn perfect storm.
That's the trifecta right there.
Right? Exactly. So I think for me, though, really, truly, it was less about parental pressure and more about pressure I put on myself. And I think also, Susie, and our friends may not know this, but I lost my eyesight when I was 15.
Right.
So I became blind. I'm in my 50s now. I've been blind longer now than I ever had physical sight, okay? And so I think for me, I kind of chose this, well, I've got to be better. I've got to be the best blind person there ever was. And if a sighted woman can do it, then dang it, I can do it better. And I had way too high expectations. Those are all false assumptions. Okay, so if that's my false assumptions, I got to be perfect. I got to do it better than everybody else. Then the wrong thinking is, well, if I don't do it perfect, then I'm a loser. The wrong thinking is, I have to be driven by my striving and my performance rather than by the grace of Jesus, which is already provided for me. And so whenever we have wrong thinking, that's usually just the fruit. And we can trace it back to the root of a false assumption that's tangled us up and is choking the life out of us.
Well, there's a woman listening right now to you who has just had a light bulb, and it almost brings me to tears, because I remember my own light bulb moments. who has just had a light bulb moment and says, maybe, just maybe, I can be free in this area. What would you say to her?
Oh, I would say, yes, you can be free in this area, because any woman who knows the truth will set us free. And here's the thing, sisters, it's not just truth that sets us free, it's knowing the truth that sets us free. And we've just right now, me and Susie, all of us together, we talked about the truth. And we know who our God is, that he is the Prince of Peace, that he is the Father of compassion, that he is the God of all comfort. And when we know who he is, and we know the truth of what he says, then we really can be free. So I guess my greatest comfort and challenge to you would be to trust God and his truth more than you trust your feelings and your opinion of yourself. Because our feelings and our opinions of ourselves are often based on wrong assumptions and on bad habits. But we can always trust the unchanging truth of who God is and what he says.
Lord, just take it from her mouth and put it in ears all over the world. This is encouragement from Jennifer Rothschild, but also from a new book, Me, Myself, and Lies, What to Say When You Talk to Yourself. And Jennifer, I want to let as many people as I can know that this book has been selected for the Proverbs 31 Ministries. I'm on that team. So I did a huge dance in my living room when I found out that Me, Myself, and Lies is selected for the next online Bible study. And this book just came out in May, and the Bible studies start. Do you know when the Bible study starts, Jennifer?
Right, June 2nd, June something.
Okay, I should know that since I'm with Proverbs.
Me too. Oh, well.
Grace, right?
Right.
So check out Proverbs 31 Ministries online Bible studies. It ministers to thousands of women all year long across the world. And this book is going to be a powerful new resource in the online Bible study. So Jennifer, thank you for joining us. I know this is short and sweet, but it has been powerful, and I feel the Lord all over it. So thank you.
Amen.